thinking maybe maybe I'm just bad luck. Last 2 days it kind of sucked. I did get a call from Cummins though. My truck's ready. $29,000 later.
Oh my God. I am never gonna financially recover from this.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Mi Casa, not Su Casa. Anyway, so I ended up breaking down today, and basically what had happened is come into a construction zone, went to 1 lane. After we got out of the construction zone, back to 2 lanes, I went to give it gas, and when I did, she started stuttering. When she started stuttering, she threw a DPF temp light, a battery light, an ABS light, a check engine light, a check light, the information light. I downshifted, getting ready to get off to the side of the road, and she died on me, so I had to manhandle her off the road. She's a beast without power steering. Checked over stuff, checked oil, checked fuel, because I was a little low on fuel, but not that bad. I still had like 11 inches in the tank. She acted like she was starving for fuel is the issue, but ended up having to call a roadside service, and it was a mechanic shop in Kearney, Nebraska. That's where I'm at. He come out, hooked the computer up, was thinking it needed a regen. Obviously that wasn't the issue, but went through all that, ended up change. Then it got to, it's a fuel issue. Well, I could have told you that, but ended up changing the fuel water separator, thinking maybe something was clogged up. Nothing. I told him about the electrical issues, or the electrical fault. Well, let me backtrack a little bit. The truck was showing no faults, but Mike, the guy who runs the truck, is able to look at basically everything on that truck from his house. He can pull up all the engine codes, see what the engine's doing, what load the engine is under, where the truck is at. I mean, everything. But so he's going through it, and he's saying that, reading out all these faults: engine misfire, cylinder 1, cylinder 2, cylinder 3, electrical fault. There was a bunch of different faults. So we went back to thinking it was electrical. The roadside mechanic was thinking that either injector 1, 2, and 3 went bad, or the head was cracked, causing it to dump fuel in the cylinder. But anyway, the roadside guy was super cool. He's one of the guys that, if your motor needed rebuilt, like an old school mechanical motor, I would trust him to do it. But when it comes to computers, not quite. But anyway, he said it needed to go to the shop. His shop wasn't able to get to it for like 2 weeks, so he had another another guy's number, said he was really, really good. So we called him. He said, yeah, I'll get to it first thing in the morning. I'll help you get it to my shop. So we ended up calling tow companies. The earliest one was like 6 hours. Granted, I broke down around 12, and it was around 4:30, because the roadside mechanic showed up at 2:35. So, and by the way, these roadside mechanics are freaking raping truckers. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. Maybe not the mechanics. I'll take that back. But the companies they work for 2 hours, mainly on the computer, just kind of scanning through, and one fuel filter was $680, and his shop was 13 miles from the truck. $680. That is bend over, no lube. You're gonna take it just how it is, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, anyway, the other mechanic, his name is Rich. He, once we found out how long it was going to be for tows, he said, we'll get it back to the shop. So I want to start out by saying I don't condone this method of towing. If you know what you're doing, fine, but a lot of people don't know what they're doing when towing with a chain. The only reason we did it is because I would have been sitting on the side of the interstate for 6 hours at least, maybe more, and I would much rather take a little risk towing with a chain than watching all them truckers and cars look like they're gonna cream into me and getting over at the last minute. Anyway, we were able to idle the truck. That way we wouldn't burn up the transmission or anything. If you ever do break down, I had a tow company try to tell me, no, it'll be fine. If you ever break down and they try to tell you just put it in neutral and tow your truck back to the shop, do not let them. You will burn your transmission up. You either take your axles, the drive axles out, or the easiest thing is to disconnect the drive line, the U-joint, pop it off, and then get it towed. But anyway, I was able to put it in neutral, and we got it down the road a little bit. The plan was, I think we were like 1.5 miles from the exit, get it off on the exit, and then turn as soon as you get off down old farm roads. And he said, let's just try to get it on back to the shop. If not, I'll go get my low boy and we'll load it on there and get her back. He ended up driving his truck out, hooking onto the trailer, hauling it back to his shop, and then coming back out with his pickup. Needless to say, got about halfway, the motor started running real rough again, so I honked the horn at him, gave it some brake. Obviously, he could feel me braking, so he went ahead and stopped. And we went down, got his truck and lowboy, and come on back out, loaded the truck on the lowboy, and took it back to his shop. This guy, if you're ever in Kearney, Texas, look up Rich Ag Service. The guy knows what he's. You can tell he knows what he's talking about. He's old country boy. His shop looks like a converted hayborn converted into his mechanic shop, but he's got like grain silos all around it and everything else out in the middle of a bunch of fields. But I told him what happened, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you probably got a short in your harness going to your injectors." And he said it's very unlikely that all three injectors are going to go bad at the same time. Plus, there was a blown fuse on the ECM or ECU, and he's like, obviously something shorted us. Something caused the fuse to blow. So he said, I got a test harness at my shop. Said I'll get the test harness on it. We'll check it out. If it is the harness, then I got a harness at my shop. We'll put a new one on it. I'll have you back on the road about mid-morning. So yeah, Rich Ag Service. Dude seems pretty legit. Of course, I'll have to see, how much the price tag is tomorrow. But anyway, that's my situation. Oh, so the mechanic, the roadside service mechanic brought me back because I guess he's friends with Rich. But so he was hanging out with us. He ended up bringing me back to Kearney. Dropped me off at a Motel 6, which is right beside a bunch of restaurants. And he said it's probably your cheaper one of all the hotels around. So I walk in, booked. So I go to the other hotel. I don't remember which one it is. It's booked. Go to the Days Inn. It's booked. So I was like, crap. And they were all three right next to each other. And there's probably 8 across the street. So I sit down, start calling, and every one of them's booked. I get to the Holiday Inn, the last one that I'm going to call, because it's the most expensive. And, yeah, we got 2 rooms. Out of every hotel, 2 rooms available. I thought there for a minute I was going to be calling Rich back and asking him if he'd pick me up so I could sleep in the truck. But, yeah. So it's been a fun day. Oh, and I run out of tobacco at around 1. So that had me wigging out a little bit. And all my ice melted in my cup. So I was having to drink hot water and Diet Coke. But fun times. Anyway, this is where we got the truck fixed. Guy seems to been able to do a good job on it. So they just found that the harness going to the injectors were loose. So hopefully we don't have any more issues out of it. Try to get this load dropped tomorrow and get to Cummins in Cincinnati and grab my truck.